Good evening, everybody. It is July 27th. It's July. It is definitely July. It's July 27, 2023. I want to welcome everybody back to another edition of the LTL podcast. This is episode 41. And I know this is probably a really late stream, so there's probably not a lot of people in here tonight, but I'm sure that you will all catch this on replay. The reason being is I didn't start my regular time this evening. I had a power outage in my neighborhood. I was aware of it about 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. I kind of figured that I wasn't going to get any power back. And our electric company, National Grid, gave kind of an update, said about 11:15. I said, it's probably going to be close more to 10. End up working out 10 o'clock. So I thought that I would come on for a little while and hang out with all of you. But if you're in here live right now, feel free to chat on the right-hand side of the screen in the live chat. If you're catching this on replay, go down there in the comment section and smash hashtag replay. So before we get into the heart of the show, what I wanted to do was congratulate Tanya over at the Titanium Built YouTube channel. She reached 10,000 subscribers today. I am so proud of her and so happy. The algorithm is definitely serving her channel right now. She's doing everything to kill that algorithm. I'm so proud and happy for you. On Saturday night, we have a special treat planned for everybody. We're going to do dual streams where I do the 8 o'clock show with Tanya, and then we're going to come back over here at about 9:15-ish and do a 9:15 show where we have dual Coburger shows, dual Idaho shows. We're going to take calls on my show, which is going to be great. And we are super, super excited to do that for all of you. So we're going to celebrate, have a nice weekend of celebration with Tanya. She deserves it. And, hopefully we get this little YouTube channel up to 10,000 as well. Got a little bit of traction with the Coffin Daffer interview. I'm hoping it really takes off this weekend. What I need you all to do, if you haven't watched it, go over and go to my homepage and watch that video. Click on it, give it some likes, because that's going to help serve it in this algorithm and do the much needed thing that needs to happen on that video is get it out there. We want to get it out over 10,000 views on that. I think we can. I think it's valid. I think it's a very informational stream. So if you're hearing this, you haven't gone over yet, go to my homepage, click on the Coffin Daffer interview. You can't miss it. It's by far the pinnacle of what I've done here on Let's Talk Live. So, and there'll be more things as we go forward. There will be more guests. Believe me, I'm going to work on a lot of things behind the scenes and get those guests on here. But speaking of Jennifer Coffin Daffer, I do want to show you this. I thought this was really nice today. She tweeted out, she was very sweet. This morning, she reached out to me. She asked me if I could send her the link to the interview. And I was like, oh, wow, if she's saying that, then she must have felt that was a really, really great interview. And what she did for me today was she tweeted out, I had a great chat yesterday with Brian at Let's Talk Live about the Idaho 4 case. If you really good questions from Brian in the audience, if the true crime case you care about the most is Idaho case, take a listen. We discussed the FBI, the alibi, and things Coburger from an investigative view. Thank you for tuning in. And then she posted that link. That got 26,000 views. I only wish I could get those 26,000 people on my page. I've gained probably about 50 people since the interview launched, and it's been slowly. I relaunched it this morning, and it's gaining some more. So I hope it just really one of the videos take off. I really do. I want to get it up to over 10,000 views, and I think that will really help push this channel out. I think the thing that I have to go back to that interview, and I think the thing that Jennifer really liked about it was I actually took an interest in her at first. And I asked her, I said, Jennifer, before we get into Coburger, can I just ask you about the FBI? I would love to learn things about that, how they become involved in investigating a huge case like this. And she was like, oh my God, that's such great That's such great questions. I'd love to answer that. And that's kind of why I did that 3-question warm up before we got kind of into the heart of the interview. I really wanted to learn about how the FBI process cooperates with local law enforcement. I thought that was very important to show that and talk about that with people, because I don't think that she gets asked that very much. And that is something that she's obviously very passionate about. 28 years of service to our great country. And I'm sure she doesn't get asked that a lot in interviews, because they just want to get right into like, how do you feel about this? And what do you think? And how do you feel? So I really wanted to take a vested interest in her and show her that. So it's just really, really good stuff. Had a really great time over there. And I hope to have her on the show again. Maybe later down the line as Koberger trial gets going, I can have her on the show again. I just want to recognize a few people here in the chat as we go. Cindy's here. Thank you so much for hanging out. Donna's here. Diane is here as well. Legal Mind Friends and Karen Cole is here. Caterbug is here. Doodle is here. Who else have we got? Susan's here. It was a great interview. I love it. Thank you so much, Susan. I appreciate that. Caterbug says 8K just around the corner. And well on the road to 10K. Yeah, that 10K is just, I really want that. I'm really tasting it at this point. Brenda's in the room as well. Dina's here. Let's see. No, we didn't really have much time to do that, Donna. I think next time I talk to her, maybe like we can have that type of interest, and I'll definitely give it some time to breathe for a little while. I don't want to like be too obsessive and like hit her up. Maybe I hit her up again in a couple months and have her on here. I'm working on going to reach out to some other guests as well too, now that I kind of have, that one credible interview in there, and people, I can send that link now and say, here's my interview style, and I have some people in the works that I want to reach out to. I'll be honest, I reached out to Jonathan Lee Richard. He hasn't gotten back to me. I know he's very busy on the road right now. I'd love to have him on. He's, it's just crazy, like boots on the ground reporter. And he's killing it. He's killing the algorithm. So maybe in a future episode or something like that. All right, let's get into Carlee Russell. Carlee Russell lied. She got caught. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for her. I think I felt bad a little bit at first, but knowing how the story has unraveled, the time and the wasted law enforcement, the waste of resources, it's pretty disgusting. There hasn't been anything as far as her motive. Now, I know people are going to go back and say, well, mental health. I think we throw that around a lot these days, and I get it. I understand. I don't want to make fun of anybody with mental issues, health issues. I have mental health issues in myself. Okay. I deal with it myself. And I think we all do in some certain way, but there's I think she had a lot of opportunities to come out of this. As this unraveled over the days, she could have came out on the first day and say, look, I fucking lied. And this is why. I am dealing with X. I just had X happen in my life. I'm going through a bad time because of X. And she didn't decide to do that. She kept rolling out this narrative. And then it was, her family getting involved, the community getting upset, law enforcement getting upset. And then it ultimately had to come down to 4 or 5 days later that now I'm going to admit that this was a hoax. Watching those JLR videos and doing those on the podcast here really put into perspective. And I knew right away what was going on. When he showed that area of the ways in and out, through that roadway, in through those backwoods, showing the location of her parents' house about 2 miles away. This was planned. It was staged. It's just a bunch of bullshit at this point. And that's my opinion. So from People Magazine here, it says Carlee Russell's attorney says she's doing better. She's just dealing with a few things. So I'm going to read a little bit of this. And then what I want to do here is play the press conference of the essentially the confession, the statement from her lawyer. And then I'm going to have the Peter Tragos interview chime in about the criminal charges that may happen, because I haven't seen any criminal charges as of yet, but we do know that they are coming because authorities are pissed, and rightfully so. There was a firefighter that night that could have used those resources, and I think unfortunately he passed away. So it says authorities are still deciding whether to press charges against Carlee Russell for faking her own kidnapping. I mean, she filed a false police report. She lied. She used resources. I mean, it's pretty downright disgusting at this point, and I'm pretty upset. I'm upset at this. So Carlee Russell is doing better as she waits for the decision from the Alabama authorities on whether she'll face criminal charges for faking her own kidnapping earlier month. This was from actually today. So this was an update today. So I guess I believe that they're still deciding or not. Yeah. And that's the people that I feel bad for. Doodlebug says, I feel bad for her parents, but I like to think enabling her behavior growing up. She just doesn't act out like this out of the blue. It could be true, but I feel bad for her parents. I feel bad for her, her boyfriend. I feel bad for, the community, the wasted resources, the people that headed up, looking for her. I mean, it's downright wrong. And it's downright disgusting that someone would go through this. And I even knew something was weird when I started hearing that 911 call. It was way too calm. It was way too concise. I mean, look, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm 45 years old. If I saw a 2-year-old toddler running out on a freeway at night, I'd be freaking out. I'd be like, I don't know where this kid came from. I don't see anybody around here. How did this child end up here? I would be freaking out. I would say, get someone here quick. So it seemed weird. It's just very weird, very, very staged. She's doing better, but she can still be dealing with some things her attorney said. Hang on one second. I got a little bit of something. Okay. Russell disappeared after calling 911 on her way home from work on July 13, telling a dispatcher she stopped her car on the side of the highway after she claimed the toddler was walking outside alongside I-495. I'm just going to go up here because we know basically the meat of the bones of the story here. Her family soon doubled down in the public statements and a televised interview. Her mother told Today that her daughter was traumatized from the incident, and she absolutely believed her daughter's abduction was still at large, while Russell, then boyfriend, claimed in an Instagram post that she was fighting for her life for 48 hours while she was missing. It's going to go on to say here, police held a press conference last week laying out Russell's timeline. Nothing they were unable to verify Russell's story, telling the public that there was no kidnapper on the loose. She had obviously issues with her ex-boyfriend now. And it goes on to say here, she is likely going to be charged for filing false police report and plenty of evidence against her. Former prosecutor told People this week, it's a pretty strong case. Emery Russell's attorney said that they met with the police for a short meeting on Wednesday, and that's hopefully the two sides can reach a resolution soon. Hopefully we can get to the end game as far as they say of this particular thing, authorities said. All right, so that's a little bit of an update here from People Magazine. I want to get into the press conference, the Carlee Russell press conference from her lawyer, and we'll play this here and listen what they had to say.
Good afternoon. I'm Captain Keith Suscaleba with the Hoover Police Department. We're here today to provide an update in the Carlee Russell investigation. Chief Nick Durzis will read a prepared statement that will provide an update in this case. After reading the statement, we will have time for a few questions related to the case. Keep in mind, this is still an ongoing investigation, and there are some questions we simply cannot answer at this point. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Durzis.
Thank you, Captain. Yes. Good afternoon. Thanks to everyone for attending again today. I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Last Wednesday, July 19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing. We helped you determine where Carlee was during the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today, I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell. Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone during the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, ask for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
All right, with that, we'll take a few questions. As Officer Hale said, when I call on you, please state your name and your affiliation. Yes, sir.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610 100.1 FM Summit Media. Chief, do we at this time, or does the Hoover Police Department know the whereabouts of Carlee Russell during that 49-hour period that she was supposedly missing?
Now, as I said the other day, was talking facts and everything. If I said anything today, would just be speculation. Actual facts, we do not.
Aaron Llewellyn, WBTN 13. Can you tell us what her motivation was for doing this?
I wish I could tell you. I think only Carlee knows, and maybe her attorney now. But again, the statement that we received from him does not indicate any.
Ricky T on WBRC, can you give us an idea of what charges you may be filing against her?
That would strictly be up to the district attorney's office.
David Lamb, CBS 42, can you update us so that there is a meeting scheduled for this afternoon with the family, or when is that meeting?
Yeah, no, not a meeting with the attorney, not the family or Carlee. We have a meeting scheduled with the attorney, and that will take place some point tomorrow.
And there is no meeting with Carlee Russell or her family at this point?
Not scheduled, no, sir.
Bria Chapman with Fox 6, what's next to close this investigation?
Well, again, we want to talk to Mr. Anthony tomorrow and see if he has any more to discuss about the case. We'll certainly be asking if we'll get an opportunity to again interview Carlee like we've wanted to since she returned.
Chief Stephen Quinn, ABC 3340.
Yes, sir.
Your reaction now, knowing that Carlee has admitted that this was made up?
Well, I'm glad that we got this. You know, we certainly laid the facts out to you guys and to the national media that had a lot of interest in this particular case. The sad thing is that again, there were so many people that were involved, took this thing very, very seriously, and again, we wanted the focus to be bringing her home. She got home. We're very excited about that. It is what it is. The facts, I think, last Wednesday pretty much showed that we knew that it was a hoax.
Lisa Crane with WBTN 13, do you know the expense you went to during this search? And if you don't have a dollar figure for us, just how big it was for you guys?
Well, it was all hands on deck, and we don't have a dollar figure yet, but we're certainly working towards getting one, and not only ours, but there'll be other agencies that had a lot of support that they gave us and had monetary expenses themselves.
Jonathan, with JLR investigates, are the parents under any
JLR?
investigation?
You know, as I said the other day, we were going to try to determine exactly those 49 hours. So right now, you know, anything's on the table. We still don't know what happened in those 49 hours, where she was. Did she have any help? We have no idea. You know, I read the statement from Mr. Anthony. That's all we know.
Right.
Keith Mims, WAGG 16.
That was JLR.
Chief, let me ask you this. What do you think prompted or provoked Carlee to
Yeah, did you hear
do
him?
this kind of thing? And are there any kind of mental issues that the police department or the
It's good for him.
should be concerned about, or just what?
You know, not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's, this is this was an elaborate deal. I mean, when you talk about calling a 911 and being up on the interstate, again, it would all be conjecture. So really, I don't know. I was hoping that we'd have an opportunity to interview and we'd be able to ask her those questions.
Were any others involved in putting this story together for her?
Mr. Anthony, in his statement, says there was not.
Liviana Calmes, WVRC Fox 6 News. You said that you had a meeting scheduled and it kind of switched into a statement. Did they give any type of reason that switched?
No, they did not.
Back here.
Aaron Llewellyn, WBTM 13. Just for clarification, Carlee Russell is not in custody right now.
That is correct. That is correct.
Last question with David.
David Lamb, once again, so first of all, when did you actually see this letter? And second of all, do these admissions and the content of the letter alter the investigation at all?
No, not at all. We'll continue to investigate. We're still trying to determine where she was during those 49 hours. But I am glad that we received this. It at least puts some of the social media super sleuths hopefully at rest for a little bit as far as the conjecture of what everybody thinks took place. We know that by her own admission, it didn't happen. And, we're thankful for that.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
All right. So there's the press conference. So I wanted to play that out. And now we're going to go to the lawyer. It's going to be kind of a short stream tonight, but I definitely wanted to come on and do some streaming with you all. Hey, Laura, I know that you've been really busy lately, but I don't know if you saw my interview. If you know who Jennifer Coffindaffer is, I had a live interview with her on the channel yesterday. And if anybody in the room has not seen that video, I'm going to drop the link in here if you want to check it out. I appreciate the view on that video. Let me just pull that up. So the link to Jennifer Coffindaffer interview is right there. If you want to watch that after this presentation, I appreciate it. Sandra has become a new member. She's joined the membership group. Thank you so much, Sandra. I appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out here on the channel and supporting the channel. I really do appreciate that. We're just trying to get this channel up to 10,000 subscribers right now. All right, let's play the lore you know. Oh, all right. Well, welcome in. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Coming at you again today.
No worries.
Because some breaking news on this Carlee Russell story. A lot of you were asking me about it initially. I was kind of waiting to see what happened when the original story came out. We're going to talk about what that story was. There was a press conference today held by local law enforcement in Alabama. A statement made on behalf of Carlee Russell by her attorney. And a lot of just weird stuff coming out. We're going to talk about what the story was, what she admits today, and whether or not criminal charges could be pending. We're also going to talk about whether or not criminal charges are appropriate in a situation like this. So hit that like button if you're interested in this content, if you're interested in this story and want me to follow this story and see what happens in it, or if it's not something you're interested in, let me know in the comments as well, and we can move on to the next. But make sure you subscribe to our channel either way and hit that reminder bell so you can be involved in whatever content it is we put out. So the story first started with Carlee Russell, who's a 25-year-old in Alabama, calling a friend, saying she sees a toddler wandering along the side of the road. No other reports of that. Still nothing really came out that happened. And then she ends up telling law enforcement that she was kidnapped. And she goes into great detail about what happened. She said she was kidnapped. She said she described the man as having red hair and a bald spot. He put her in her car or in his car. She was blindfolded but not tied up. She screamed. She was able to escape. And then she was taken again, and she was put in the back of an 18-wheeler, and there was a male voice and a female voice, and she was missing for 49 hours, so more than 2 days. Again, she was able to flee and run away again eventually and get back to her house. Oh, she also said she was forced to get undressed, and she thinks they may have taken pictures of her, but she doesn't remember any physical contact necessarily. She was fed cheese and crackers by a female captor, and they played with her hair. And there was just all of these details about what happened, right? To where you would think it would just be wild if this stuff was not true. You find out also that there were maybe some other things, some theft involved on her side, and just a lot of weird details that come out. But that's basically the gist. It took the world by storm, Gabby Petito style. Our friend JB over at WFLA 8 and many other influential journalists and TV personalities.
I just want to pause this for a second. You know, a thing that I always notice in any type of like crimes like this, when someone tells a story and there's so much layering to it that it almost seems like it's so impossible, that there's just so much detail. You know, those stories usually end up being not true, you know, and a lot of these hoaxes, there's just so much detail and too much detail. I mean, that's just such a crazy, elaborate story. Now, could it not happen? I mean, could it happen? Of course. But I always notice when there's a lot of embellishment and it just seems like the story runs on and on and on, usually something about that doesn't reign true. And I'll tell you, I go back to that 911 call where Carlee's calling in and she's so calm and collective. It's almost like she's rehearsed the story that she was going to tell. All right, so let's keep playing on here with Peter.
He shared this information to try to help find her. Her family asked for it desperately to help try to find Carlee. The nation kind of got together. They end up finding her. She comes back 49 hours later. Her family said she's in a bed.
Okay, real quick. Unfortunately, I can't pull up these member chats, but I just want to point this out. I don't know why it doesn't allow us to do this, but Regina's been a member for 3 months. And she says, Brian, always happy to see you. I'm happy you and Tanya and DJ became friends. I love you guys. Also, did anyone watch The Killing Season? I think that's on Hulu. I don't watch Hulu. I actually probably haven't turned my TV on in 5 years. I watch a lot of YouTube content, but I heard Killing Season is very, very good. It's something that I may want to check out. I know Brian Enton was kind of pumping it the other night in one of his interviews. Okay, let's keep playing through. Thank you for your 3-month membership, by the way, as crime enthusiast.
Bad place. She's in a bad state after just being kidnapped and fighting for her life. There's no allegations or anything that her family was involved or that anybody else knew about this. But recently, as information continued to come out, it became less and less likely that this story was actually true. And today we get some confirmation of that in the form of a press conference, as I said, by local law enforcement. We are going to play it from JB's stream here and talk through what it means, whether or not criminal charges could be pending, what those criminal charges could be, and whether or not, again, like I said, it's appropriate for a situation like this. So let's watch together.
Good afternoon. I'm Captain Keith Sescaliba with the Hoover Police Department. We're here today to provide an update in the Carlee Russell investigation. Chief Nick Durzis will read a prepared statement that will provide an update in this case. After reading the statement, we will have time for a few questions related to the case. Keep in mind, this is still an ongoing investigation, and there are some questions we simply cannot answer at this point. With that, I'll try.
So the investigation is still ongoing. It's not over. We're not done. Okay. And there are certain things they do not have the answers to. We're going to hear some questions like that. The big one is, where was she for those 49 hours? Still an answer we're not going to get, but we do get a lot of answers from this press conference. So let's listen to it together.
Turn it over to Chief Durzis.
Thank you, Captain. Yes. Good afternoon. Thanks to everyone for attending again today. I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Last Wednesday, July 19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing. We helped you determine where Carlee was during the 49 hours of her disappearance. That I have talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell. Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon. But then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf.
So she was supposed to meet with investigators. It sounds like she didn't have that meeting, but instead her lawyer made this statement on her behalf, and he's about to read that statement with you. So it seems like in lieu of meeting with investigators. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what it sounds like with some context clues.
Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf.
And real quick, I just want to pop this because this has been the big buzz. And Tanya and I are going to get into this on our Saturday shows, but there's been some new documents that have dropped in the Brian Kohberger case. Now, there's been a motion to dismiss the indictment, and I'm already going to tell you guys, or ladies, guys and ladies in the room, if they get it dismissed, they're just going to refile the indictment. This is just another plan by the defense to slow down this trial, to keep slowing this trial, because they have no alibi. They have no alibi. If they had an alibi, they would have put it in. And what they're hoping to do, just like Jennifer was saying on the show the other day, when I asked her about this, about the alibi, is that they want to get those witnesses on the stands, DM, BF, and they say, are you sure that this was the person, if they're looking at Dylan Mortensen, are you sure this is the description of the person that you saw? Well, maybe not. Maybe he was a little bit shorter. Aha. And that's the stuff that they're going to be looking for to corroborate all this information through witnesses. That's how they're going to attack this. So, everybody hold your socks. Don't let them fall down. I'm already going to tell you, if the indictment gets dismissed, they're just going to refile it. So everybody thinks that you got the Kohberger team, the Kohberger side that is completely like, this guy's 100% guilty. Everybody's up in arms about it. And then you have all the people that are like pro Kohberger, and they're all going, oh, this guy's going to get out of jail. He's going to walk. Do you think that if he had an alibi that could corroborate all this evidence and get out of jail, do you think that he would be free right now? Of course he would be. Of course he would be. So, it's going to get wild here for a couple weeks, and people love all these new documents. But I'm telling you, it's just another way to slow this case down. I'm already going to tell you as well, too. In the List case, Long Island serial killer, you're probably going to see a lot of motions like this as well. These are standard motions that happen in cases. So everybody is up in arms about this. Sandra, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. She says, I hope that criminal charges won't happen. I mean, she's got to be held responsible for something. If it's not a criminal charge, then she needs to be held civilly. She needs to pay back those resources. It was over $250,000 to $350,000 wasted on this rescue, on finding her. So, all right, let's keep playing through here.
There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023.
So she admits that
that's great.
Everything she said was made up.
I'm a big H&M shopper.
No kidnapping. Wild to think about. This gives me flashbacks of Alec Murdaugh and the roadside incident, and that happening, and then finding out that his attorneys with him made a statement saying that was all a lie. He made it all up. Mental health issues, bigger things going on. Why would somebody do this? Those are all questions that come to mind when this happens, just like I did with Alec Murdaugh.
My client did not see a baby on the side of the road.
That's good, right? So there's not a missing child that a family is looking for, that we don't know any other information about. She just made that up. That's bad that she made it up, obviously. Good that it's not actually true, that happened.
My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself.
So she did not have any help. Her family didn't know. Nobody else implicated. So that's good. If anybody else is involved, she's protecting them. If not, it was just done by her on her own, which is better than the alternative that a bunch of people got together to concoct this plan for God knows what reason.
My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone from the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department, and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, asks for your forgiveness and prayers.
So she apologizes, asks for forgiveness and prayers, admitting the wrong that she did. and just a few days later. So horrible thing she did, doing the right thing now, at least admitting it. So nobody's, wondering about a missing child or their kidnappers running rampant or wasting police time and resources. So at least today she made the right decision, right? Maybe not before, maybe not, a couple weeks ago, but today she made the right decision. So at least I think we have to give some props for that. We are going to talk about what the repercussions are for doing what she did a few weeks ago. But I do think it's important to point that out, that when you make a mistake, better than doubling down on it is to admit what you did, try to make it right, try to do the right thing, apologize and ask for forgiveness. I think in today's society, that's something that goes by the wayside, and people don't feel like they can do. Especially, I'm sure the backlash is going to be horrible. I'm sure people are going to say nasty things. I'm sure people are going to do nasty things. I'm sure there's going to be attacks, abuse, things done to her, which none of which will happen on this channel or in this chat or by me. She made a mistake. I'm thankful that she apologized for it. We will, because it is potentially a criminal act that she has committed. We will talk about the potential criminal implications, but I will not condemn her for admitting the truth and apologizing for it.
We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case.
So they are still discussing possible criminal charges. So that is why we're going to discuss it together. Right? Somebody who has looked into charging documents, made charging decisions at the state attorney's office, who has defended cases, literally this type of case and the crime that we're going to talk about had cases like this on both sides, filing false police reports and defending people that were accused of filing false police reports. That's the angle we're going to discuss.
And we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
We will announce those charges when and if they are filed. So it sounds like it's going to be more when than if, but I don't know. Maybe they won't charge anything. I have an idea of what I think is going to happen in this case. No guarantees, but just kind of my guess.
All right, with that, we'll take a few questions.
Questions now for him.
Call on you, please state your name and your affiliation.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610 100.1 FM Summit Media. Chief, do we at this time, or does the Hoover Police Department know the whereabouts of Carlee Russell during that 49-hour period that she was supposedly missing?
Now, as I said the other day, was talking facts and everything. If I said anything today, would just be speculation. Actual facts, we do not.
So they don't know, but he did say that she remained in the Hoover area, but we don't know exactly where she was during those 49 hours.
Can you tell us what her motivation was for doing this? Yeah.
The question is, what was her motivation for doing this?
I can tell you, I think only Carlee knows, and maybe her attorney now, but again, the statement that we received from him does not indicate any.
For ETO can you give us an idea of what charges you may be filing against her?
That would strictly be up to the district attorney's office.
The question was, what charges will we be filing? He says correctly that it's up to the district attorney's office. A lot of times law enforcement will arrest somebody, tell them what they think they're going to be charged with, and it's wrong because the DA or the state prosecutor is the one that usually makes the charging decision on the crime. The cops arrest sometimes for minorly different things than they end up getting charged with, or deals worked out for something higher or lower than what the cop thinks they're going to be charged with.
Let me just get the super chat up. Thank you so much for the $20, Regina. I appreciate it. Regina says, I can send you my Hulu. This hoax makes me mad. The brother went right on TikTok and said no one was covering it nationwide because you know why. That's what the brother said. Everyone was looking. No one looked for the Giglo girls. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just not a good thing. It's not a good thing for the community. It's not a good thing for to do things like this because, it's like that crying wolf syndrome. What if this happens again in a different situation where, this really happens and maybe next time it's not taken so serious. And then there's a misstep and someone does end up getting hurt or losing their life or whatever. So it's just not good to do these things. And there's got to be some type of, payment for this. Either it's going to be through jail time, through major community service, or maybe a civil case where she has to pay back the state, the town, the city, but she has to pay because they have to use this as an example, so people don't do this again, you know. And we don't know her mental state, but in my personal opinion, I feel like this was an attention grabbing scheme. You know, I looked at a lot of the photos that were put out there of her. She seemed like she was posing. She had I think a couple of them that were like professional photographers, maybe in a city or like New York City or something like that. To me, it just seemed very, very attention. I needed attention for whatever that may have been. So we'll keep playing through here. Thank you so much for the $20. I appreciate that.
David Lamb, CBS 42, can you update us so that there is a meeting scheduled for this afternoon with the family, or when is that meeting?
Yeah, no, not a meeting with the attorney, not the family or Carlee. We have a meeting scheduled with the attorney, and that will take place some point
It's
tomorrow.
okay.
And there is no meeting.
Let me just pause this real quick. You know, real China, it's okay. You know, China says, I got on my knees and I prayed for Carlee. I felt like a dang fool. But it's okay, because you felt that emotion in that moment and you wanted her to be safe. And, you know, if you used prayer to do that, then that's a good thing. You prayed for her. She ultimately ended up becoming safe. But unfortunately, you know, she lied about the situation. And maybe your prayers can help her heal going forward and get, you know, the right help that she needs, or makes her realize that she cannot do stuff like this in the future because of what it did to her, you know, hurt everybody. It hurt this community. It hurt her family. You know, it hurt the law enforcement agents and all the people that went out to try to find her. And it was just a lot of resources and time. So
Carlee Russell
The meeting is with his attorney tomorrow. No meeting with Carlee or the family at this point set.
or her family at this point.
Not scheduled. No, sir.
Were you chatting with Fox 6? What's next to close this investigation?
Well, again, we want to talk to Mr. Anthony tomorrow and see if he has any more to discuss about the case. We'll certainly be asking if we'll get an opportunity to again interview Carlee like we've wanted to since she returned.
Chief Stephen Quinn, ABC 3340.
Yes, sir.
Your reaction now, knowing that Carlee has admitted that this was made up.
Well, I'm glad that we got this. You know, we certainly laid the facts out to you guys and to the national media that had a lot of interest in this particular case. The sad thing is that again, there were so many people that were involved, took this thing very, very seriously, and again, we wanted the focus to be bringing her home. She got home. We're very excited about that. You know, just, you know, it is what it is. The facts, I think, last Wednesday pretty much showed that we knew that it was a hoax.
So they said last Wednesday, they knew it was a hoax. So that's important, right? I think he said this happened on the 13th, I think was the day that she said it. Now I can't remember what day she said this happened.
the 13th.
I can't remember, but last Wednesday would have been 26th, the 19th. So right around a week that maybe they thought it was legit, but then they knew it was a hoax last Wednesday. That's going to be important when we talk about potential criminal charges and penalties.
So Sandra's using her 2-month membership. Sandra, thank you so much for being a rookie detective for the last 2 months. And she's using that. I can't pull it up, unfortunately, but it says, I have questions. Where was she? Absolutely. I think that's the big story right now. You know, where was she?
Do you know the expense you went to during this search? And if you don't have a dollar
This is important as well. What did it cost to put this search together?
figure for us, just how big it was for you guys?
Well, it was all hands on deck, and we don't have a dollar figure yet, but
They will.
we're certainly working towards getting one, and not only ours, but there'll be other agencies that had a lot of support that they gave us and had monetary expenses themselves.
Jonathan, when JLR investigates, are the parents under an investigation?
You know, as I said the other day, we were going to try to determine exactly those 49 hours. So right now, you know, anything's on the table. We still don't know what happened.
So other people could have aided and abetted her, and they're not denying or outright saying they're not going to investigate anybody else. They're going to do a full investigation. Whoever potentially committed a crime, they will investigate them for potential criminal charges, is what I'm hearing.
Those 49 hours, where she was, did she have any help? We have no idea. You know, I read the statement from Mr. Anthony. That's all we know.
Keith and WAGG 16 some media Chief, let me ask you this. What do you think prompted or provoked Carlee to do this kind of thing? And,
Already been asked and answered.
Are there any kind of mental issues that the police
Mental health
department or
issues, I guess we didn't
public
hear.
should be concerned about, or just what?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's, this is this was elaborate deal. I mean, when you talk about calling a 911 and being up on the interstate, again, it would all be conjecture. So really, I don't know. I was hoping that we'd have an opportunity to interview and we'd be able to ask her those questions.
Okay, I'm going to pause this really quick and just recognize this $5 super chat. Regina, thank you so much. She says, we all need to get away. Why do this? My spidey senses go up with her brother. I'm happy that she's alive, of course, but she needs help and to pay restitution. I absolutely agree. 100%. 100%. Regina, thank you so much for your support on the channel this night. I appreciate that.
Putting this story together for her.
Mr. Anthony.
So that's also something they wanted to interview her.
Thank you.
And are not able to. That's something we'll remember and discuss in a minute.
Anthony, in his statement, says there was not.
Liliana Kelly, WPRC Fox 6 News. You said that you had a meeting scheduled and it kind of switched into a statement. Did they give any type of reason that switched?
No, they did not.
Back here.
Aaron Llewellyn, WBTN 13. Just for clarification, Carlee Russell is not in custody right now.
I don't know yet,
correct.
Doodle Dog.
That is correct.
I don't know yet.
David Lamb, once again.
I think she did take
first
the
of all,
money.
when did you actually see this letter? And second of all, do these admissions and the content of the letter alter the investigation at all?
No, not at all. We'll continue to investigate. We're still trying to determine where she was during those 49 hours. But I am glad that we received this. It at least puts some of the social media super sleuths hopefully at rest for a little bit as far as the conjecture of what everybody thinks took place. We know that
the social media super sleuths getting more and more shout outs as the days go by.
That by her own admission, it didn't happen. And, we're thankful for that.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
All right. So that's the end of the information we're getting there. Okay. So there's your answer. It was a hoax from the mouth of her lawyer, who was her mouthpiece here. So what potential charges is she looking at? I already mentioned filing a false police report. If she sent anything in under oath or went to the station, doesn't seem like. Potentially perjury, probably not. And then there's a theft charge because I think she was accused of taking some things from her job. But the main charge is filing a false police report. In most jurisdictions, that's a misdemeanor, carrying potential jail time with it, but unlikely if she has no criminal history, never been arrested or convicted of crimes in the past. Potentially some kind of diversion program or PTI or restorative justice program where she does some counseling and goes through a program, and then at the end the charges get dropped. So first off, there's a lot of little tidbits of information we got in there. They are meeting with her lawyer tomorrow before they make a charging decision. This is not uncommon. This is why you want to get a criminal defense attorney early in the process. She's not making statements to law enforcement. Her lawyer is, and her lawyer is going to meet with law enforcement so they can talk about potential charging decisions. So instead of charging the worst or harshest crime, maybe her lawyer can talk law enforcement into charging a lesser crime. Maybe they can work out a deal right there at the table. Charge her with this. She will plead guilty. She will do this. Or charge her with this. She will do some kind of diversion or restorative justice program and then end up getting the charges dropped at the end. Whatever it is, they can have those discussions now. Plea negotiation type of deal. If she's going to admit wrongdoing, right? How can this be the least severe punishment on her? Or make the punishment fit the crime. She made a mistake. It was a horrible mistake. It does have consequences. Okay. What are those consequences? And this brings in the discussion of, should this be a crime? She made a mistake. She lied. It was a hoax. She didn't hurt anybody, right? I've seen quotes like that. And I understand and I agree, which is why we should not condemn her and crucify her and make her a ostracized person, out of society, scarlet letter, whatever. None of that should happen, my opinion. She made a mistake. It sounds like she knows she made a mistake. The punishment that fits a crime like this, in my opinion, is a restorative justice type of program. And what does that look like? Classes, counseling, community service, I think she should do a lot of community service and then working to pay off restitution, court costs, and fines. Now, restitution usually is to the victim in the case, but in this case, it's going to be more in the costs of investigation, because that is the money that her crime charged and wasted. That's why the questions about how much did this investigation cost, not just your agencies, but all hands on deck, everybody trying to find her. Literally, it's going to be thousands of dollars that were wasted on this. So she either has to pay that or work until she pays that off. I think she should have to pay off every single penny that was wasted.
Yep, me
Now,
too.
she can't give back the time that was taken from other cases and other investigations, which could turn this into something that was not a victimless crime, because other real crimes were being committed. Other real victims needed law enforcement's help. People go missing literally every single day, and they were taken away from real cases to be put on this hoax, especially with the national attention and media and everything with the groundswell that came. That is why this is a actions that deserve to be charged criminally, but the punishment should fit the crime. She shouldn't go to prison for the rest of her life, but she should be punished, and it should hurt. It's a lot of money. She is going to have to work to pay it off, my opinion. And I think this is a reasonable deal that could be worked out. She's charged with something. She admits that she did it, and maybe she goes through some program, community service, paying it back one way or the other to where this doesn't affect her the rest of her life. Now, this would absolutely be considered a crime of moral turpitude, even though it's not a felony, most likely not going to be a felony. Could be, I guess, in different ways. But when you hear people taking the witness stand and they have to admit either felonies or crimes of moral turpitude, that means you lied, did something that was dishonest. So your credibility is going to be tarnished forever in a court of law when you do something like this. I think that is appropriate. That doesn't mean she lies every time she takes a stand or gives a statement under oath or says anything to anybody. But every time her deposition is taken or she's in court or whatever, this is something that could come up. Because when you make mistakes like this, you need to learn from them. People need to know. Maybe you don't get the full benefit of the doubt that everybody else may get that hasn't ever been committed of a crime. Doesn't mean people haven't lied, right? Everybody's lied. But this is another level. And if there are mental health issues going on, I hope she gets the treatment and help that she needs. But there are absolutely criminal angles with this. That's why the lawyer's involved. He's meeting with law enforcement. They're probably going to talk about potential charges. They also want answers. So they may say, we're only going to, and this can be part of a pretrial diversion or restorative justice program where she has to tell them what happened. It has to be the truth and admit what happened. And if there are other people involved, she needs to tell them. So there may still be more details yet to come. I really want to know what questions you have. Put them in the comments below. And let me know if this is something you're interested in by hitting that like button and sharing it with other people that have questions surrounding this sad story. So please let me know. Thanks for watching and joining me here. For now, that's all I've got. Until next time, I'm out of here.
Yeah. So that's Peter's take on it. I mean, I think I pretty much align with him. I talked about that. It's just a sad situation all around. It hurts her. It hurts her family. It hurts the community. Lots of times in resources used in the wrong places. A lot of wasted time in the community. People that went out, printed these posters, flyer doors, walked those woods, walked that highway. We saw shots that were just tons of law enforcement and volunteers' cars looking for her, lined all along that highway, looking for her. And it's just sad. It's sad all around. And this is going to stick with her now for the rest of her life, this decision that she made. So Sandra says, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Brian, Jennifer, confident you go, boy. May I share on my school website? I'm taking legal studies. Absolutely. I would love you to share that that podcast. Jennifer actually tweeted it out today to share it as well too. It went very well. And I plan on having her back on the show. I'll ask her maybe in a couple of months. We'll get her back on here. Maybe talk a little bit more Coburger as that gets, winding up, or this Long Long Island serial killer case. You know, maybe we can ask her some questions on that as well, because it seems like it's going to be a big case. I'm looking for, I don't know if she left. Is Real China still in here? Because I have a suggestion. And I was just checking out her channel as I was watching that video. And I don't know if she's still here, but if she is, chat in the chat. I have a suggestion for your channel that will help you. Ultimately, I'm just making an observation. But I'm going to wait a couple of minutes and see if she answers. If she's not in here, probably going to end the podcast, get some sleep. And I got to think of maybe a show tomorrow night. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do one. I'll maybe think of something when I get up tomorrow morning. If not, we'll definitely be back here Saturday night for the Super Show with Tanya from Titanium Built. And I'll drop that link for that show. It's going to be a crazy show, super show. We're going to have live calls. I think Real China might have left. But I have a great suggestion for her channel that would really work. And maybe I'll hand that out. Maybe she'll come back and watch this stream. So my suggestion to Real China, I just saw a video. She just hit her 1,000 subscribers over there. So she is now monetized. And I'm going to tell you, you have something that can work in your benefit, Real China. Real China Vlogs. You live in New York City. Use that city as your advantage. I'm already going to tell you how you can make your channel blow up. Find landmarks. Find places that you like to eat. Find entertainment places that you go to entertain yourself. Take people through a journey of New York City in your view, and your channel will go bananas. It will blow up. Okay, you have the city that everybody wants to go to, New York City. If you can find a unique way to tell that story in New York City, your channel will blow up. I guarantee you. So I hope that you listen back and you hear this and you see this, because it will make your channel explode. I watched, it looked like you were doing some vlogs for about 2 years, and you would do one every month, and it looks like you're starting to do it again. Do it. Just grab a GoPro. You can even do it with your iPhone. You don't need fancy equipment to do this stuff. And go out and say, start your video. Hey guys, today I'm going to take you to the Statue of Liberty and show you, all the wonderful things that are about that. And you're going to take them on that journey and bring them to them. Or, hey guys, I'm going to take you today to Times Square, and just show them Times Square. Visuals in YouTube, that's what people come here for. They want to see visuals. So you have an opportunity. Here. And I'll drop her link. I'm going to actually drop a comment on her video. She's got a look about her. She can really turn this into something. If you all want to go over and check her channel out. I don't plug many channels here on Let's Talk Live, but that's her channel. And I'm going to drop her a comment and say, go back and watch the last 20 minutes of this video. So you can get some advice. So Sandra's in Mass as well. Well, I'm in Massachusetts. We're neighbors. We're neighbors here. So really great show. Really good. Yes, it is great advice. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you are well. And you live in New York. That's great. Maybe you can start a vlog. Take people out on a journey. I don't think I'm the GOAT, but maybe someday. Joe Rogan in this space is the GOAT right now. Maybe I can knock him off his pedestal someday and take over the torch. But that's my dream. My dream would even be just to have a tiny fraction of his success. So I'm from Massachusetts. Yeah, I live in Massachusetts, born and raised, have been over the country, all over the place. Yes, Joe Rogan is the GOAT. There's no No taking away from that. Okay. We have hit the hour mark. I kind of wish China was in here to see that, but I'm going to make a comment and say, hey, go back and watch like the last 15 minutes of my stream. I gave you some advice, and hopefully she goes back and watches it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stream tomorrow night. I may. I don't really have any material right now. I know Tanya will probably be streaming at 8. And then on Saturday, we're going to do the Super Show. We're going to do an 8 o'clock spot on Tanya's channel. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to do the 9 o'clock spot. So it's a double duo, 2-for-1 combo meal deal. And we'll take live calls on Saturday night for the Super Show. We're going to do a Koberger show. Tons of new documents dropped. Don't get freaked out. We know the defense filed for a motion to dismiss the indictment. I'm going to tell you, if it gets dismissed, the state is just going to re-indict. So, yes, Sandra, yes. What's going on? Oh, thank you. And yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. And God bless you too. Thank you. So I don't know. Yes. No. Yes. New York City. I was 16 when I moved. Okay. Are you in Boston? Do you live in Boston? Yeah, I have the documents. I have all the documents, but if anybody wants to see the documents, it's very easy. This is the link. And what you need to do is when you pop on the link, just scroll down 3/4 of the page. You'll see all the Idaho documents. I have not even had time to read through them. I'm probably going to take tomorrow night off so I can get some information together on for Saturday's show. And we're going to talk a little Coffin Daffer as well. We'll review the interview. If you haven't seen that interview, the link is at the top. You can click on that. I would appreciate some comments on that video, some likes on that video, any interaction you can give it. I'm trying to get that video up to 10,000 views. That's my goal on that video, 10,000 views. So, oh, you just got back from Utah? Great. I lived in a hotel in Billerica for a while in the 90s. I'm about 45 minutes from Billerica. Okay, I'm going to end the stream. I'm tired. It's getting late. You guys should all get some rest too. Let's see. Sandra says, no, I don't. I told you you're from up north. Okay. Big fight Saturday. What's going on Saturday? Who's fighting? Is it a UFC fight? I haven't watched a UFC fight in years. All right. Everybody get some sleep. Let's see. I'm going to wait for the big fight, and then we'll get out of here for the night. Thank you all for watching the stream. Thank you all for the super chats. Regina, thank you for coming through. That was very nice. We had a couple members. Sandra came back to the membership group, so I appreciate that. If you are a paying member here, and I see a lot of you in the room, my members, go to my homepage, scroll all the way down, and you can watch all that members only content. I owe a members only video to my members soon. I promise. Probably maybe something on Sunday, but everybody get some sleep. I'm going to get some rest myself. I have a super long day at work tomorrow. Then I plan on coming home, reading through some of the Koberger documents. I'll probably take tomorrow night off. I know I want to cut up the Jennifer Coffindaffer interview into smaller short videos, and I'll probably launch that out next week. So look out for those. And God, that interview was so good. You got to watch that interview. It was really great. It's a great interview. It was really good. I was very happy. I got offline as I was closing out. I was like, yes, just really good. Okay. I'm going to get some rest. Onward and upward. 7919. We're getting close to 8,000. Let's get this channel to 10,000 subscribers. Real China, did you hear? Let me know before I close out. Did you hear my advice? Say yes or no. Because if not, I'll let you know right now what I said. Yeah, it was a great interview. Let me know if you heard my advice. Because if not, I'll let you know again. I don't know if you left and came back. but let me know in the chat if you heard my advice, because I'm telling you, you could get your channel to blow up. Real China. Let me know before did you hear my advice about your YouTube page? Oh, okay, great. Let me give you some advice. While we were watching the Lawyer You Know video, I went over and kind of Skyped out your YouTube page, and I have some advice for you. Listen, because you have something there. I see that you are starting to kind of kick up your channel. You just hit 1,000 subscribers the other day, and congratulations to that. You have something here. You have New York City. Use that to your advantage. And if you want your channel to blow up, I'm telling you right now, from one YouTuber to another, go out and find places and take people on that journey. Take them to the Statue of Liberty. Take them to Times Square. Take them to Fifth Ave. Walk those places. You don't even need an expensive camera. Use your iPhone if you have one, and just start making vlogs and take people around. Like today, guys, I'm going to take you down Fifth Ave and show you what Fifth Ave is all about. Hey, guys, I'm going to take you to the Statue of Liberty and show you what it's all about. I'm going to walk you through Brooklyn and show you what it's about. And if you can, and you get the nerve enough, or if you get the guts enough to start doing this, talk to those people on the streets. Talk to them. Learn about that area. I'm telling you, if you do this, your channel will blow up. Because what is the one city that everybody in this world wants to go to? New York City. And if you can tell that story through your eyes, I'm telling you, your channel will blow up. That's going to be my advice to everybody in this YouTube community. I always say this, and I always quote this from the Ultimate Warrior from the WWF or WWE now. If you have been born, so you have the potential. You can do this. Post your video. Be consistent. Make one a week. Start with one a week. That's all you need to do. And then post another one. And then post another one. And then post another one. And keep posting. You can do this. If you want YouTube in your life, you can do this. I'm telling you. And anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Just post a video and post another one. And post another one and post another one. And you will learn. Because I knew nothing about YouTube when I started. And here I am, almost 8,000 subscribers deep. So I'm going to get out. I'm tired. I'm glad that Real China got to see that. Good stuff. I'm going to check back in on your page in like a month. And I want to see weekly videos from you going out in New York City. And even more interesting, if you can get some of your friends in those videos to walk these areas with you and talk about your experiences, people will be interested in that. Believe me. And all you need to do is start with a short intro. Hey guys, I'm going to take you for a walk with my friends down Fifth Ave today and show you what that's all about. Do it. I'm telling you. And people will be interested. You can do this. Okay. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all for watching the show tonight. I will be back. I think I'm going to take tomorrow night off. And I'll be back Saturday night for the Super Show with Tanya from Titanium Built. 10,000 subscribers. She hit the big 10K. All right, let's get this channel to 10,000 subscribers. You all be good. Be safe. Good night. I'll see you back here Saturday. Bye.